What's going on, guys? AD20s here. Gonna do a quick little initial thoughts and impressions on this guy right here. This is the Demko Knives AD20s. This one's in carbon fiber, has an Elmax blade. Initial thoughts and impressions, I like it. It's unique, it's fidgety. This thing is made in the USA. Very tight tolerances, at least from what I can tell. This thing is rock solid, you know, no blade rock, anything of that nature. Of course, sporting the shark lock here, which is a unique locking mechanism. I would say it's the most similar to something like the Benchmade Axis lock, where you've got a bar essentially that's serving as a locking mechanism. So there is nothing interfacing down here like a liner lock or a frame lock. You know, the locking mechanism is actually at the top of the blade here, and it's keeping that blade from falling forward. So that's going to be the Axis lock. Now this thing it's very smooth, very smooth. In fact, one of my favorite ways to open it so far is just a slow roll, just because of how smooth this guy is. Now, of course, you can spidey flick this thing. You need to give it a little bit of encouragement with your wrist. You can thumb flick it, and you know, pretty much any deployment method you want, it's going to work because it is extremely smooth. This unlock mechanism takes a little bit of getting used to, not in a bad way. It's just different than probably anything that you've used before. So for me, it took just a little bit of I guess just messing with it, you know, to kind of develop the muscle memory to get it to close nice and smooth like that, without kind of looking like I'm fumbling around, you know. But once you kind of get that down, it's really kind of fun to use. So one thing I will say that is worth noting with this guy is, if you're somebody who has not a lot of experience with knives, or, you know, you're maybe not got as good dexterity with your fingers for whatever reason, something to be aware of is that when this guy gets to about 30%, and I'm going to call it, you know, a full open is 100%, right? 100%. When this guy gets to about 30%, this mechanism is really going to cause this blade to just slam closed. So if your fingers are in the way there, you're going to get a cut, probably a pretty nasty one too, because it really slams that blade home. In fact, I hope you can hear this, but I'm just going to ever so slightly get it to that point, and slams home, right? So if your fingers are in the way whenever this thing decides it's going, you're going to have a nasty little cut there. Other than that, though, you know, I do really like this locking mechanism, the action on it. It's very strong, very fidgety too. So I find myself kind of fidgeting with this guy a lot. And carbon fiber looks fantastic on this knife. Now, I haven't weighed it, but I'm sure it's also going to be a good bit you know, lighter weight too than, say, the full TI variant. So it's going to carry a little bit easier. This is a full-size knife. You know, I've got size large hands, and, you know, I've got a full grip here. And especially whenever you use this finger choil area, it's not really a finger choil on the blade, but it's serving as a finger rest, right? You see, I've got a good bit of handle left over, and I've got, like I said, size large hands as far as glove size is concerned. So it is very much a full-size knife. So this is the S model, which is the slim. I believe that's essentially just talking about this dimension here, how thick the blade stock, you know, and everything is. So this is still very much a full-size knife. The pocket clip leaves a little bit to be desired. Now, the pocket clips on knives aren't really a huge deal breaker for me. You know, there used to be a point in time where I had to be like, oh, it's deep carry or nothing, right? But I have since gotten past that. Some of my absolute favorite knives, period, don't have a deep carry pocket clip. You know, the Spartan Harsey is one of my favorites. Les George VECP, Hinderers, you know, those knives don't have a deep carry pocket clip. So it's just something that at one point in time I thought was way more important than it actually is. So, you know, this pocket clip here, some people may hate it, some people may not care. For me, it's not a deal breaker, but it's worth pointing out that you do kind of have a little bit hanging out of the pocket for those people that are just really stuck on that being a huge deal breaker. right? So, but yeah, thoughts and impressions. I really like it. It's growing on me quite a lot. The more that I use it and carry it, the more that I like it. So it's something that I think if you're interested in, if you've seen, it's definitely worth checking out. Now, the USA made models are pretty hard to find, and whenever they drop, they normally sell out within a matter of seconds or minutes if you're lucky. These went extremely fast when they dropped. So if you're interested in this knife and the shark lock mechanism, you may want to try to find something like the 20.5, which is the Taiwan made variant. Now it's going to give you a similar feel. It's going to be a little bit smaller. It's probably not going to have as good a fit and finish. Now, I'm not saying it's going to have bad fit and finish, but you know, it's probably not going to have as good a fit and finish as the USA made guy does, but you should still get an idea of what this one feels like. And, you know, if you decide that it's something that you like, you know, it might be something that you decide to go after. You might decide you want to really track one of these down and grab one. I think that if you've wanted one, they're absolutely worth it. 100%. USA made, unique, great materials. You know, I think that it's very much worth it, especially, you know, if you're a knife enthusiast, right? Somebody who collects these things, or somebody who wants just a hard user. The shark lock is it's a beast of a lock. So that's it, guys. Yeah, real quick, like I said, initial thoughts and impressions on this guy here. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section, guys. Like always, stay sharp.